Hey everyone, it's FaZe. Welcome back to my channel. It's almost been a week since I got the all-new 2021 Kindle Paperwhite, and today I'm so excited to share my review. A few days back, I shared the unboxing of this new Kindle, so if you would like to check it out, be sure to watch it. Right off the bat, I can say this is the biggest upgrade ever to the Kindle Paperwhite. On paper at least, Amazon has finally built the ultimate Kindle. The last Paperwhite update was a relatively minor one, with just a light design tweak and waterproofing serving as the main addition. This new Kindle Paperwhite refresh, on the other hand, adds nearly every update you could imagine for a hardware refresh. A bigger screen, wireless charging, USB-C, adjustable color temperature, and additional LEDs for more consistent backlighting. One thing I do want to mention is that this model right here is the Signature Edition. This is the first time ever where Amazon has released two versions of the Paperwhite, a standard one and a Signature Edition. They both look the same. The only difference between the two is that the Signature Edition adds wireless charging, a sensor to automatically adjust the backlight, and 4 times the storage, 32 gigabytes compared to 8 gigabytes on the regular model. The regular Paperwhite costs $139.99 or $159.99 without lock screen ads, while the Signature Edition costs $189.99 and by default comes without ads. Now, whether these features justify the extra cost will depend on how important those differences are to you. The additional storage and the automatically adjustable backlight are excellent additions. Wireless charging, however, makes zero impact to me, given that the new Paperwhite needs charging so rarely and charges much faster over USB-C than it does over wireless charging. And to be very honest, I don't even like the wireless charging aspect of it because you'll need a pad that actually fits the Paperwhite, which can be difficult if you prefer phone-sized chargers. So for an example, when I'm going to bed, I just want to lay the Kindle on the wireless charging pad to charge. But literally, you have to hit the exact spot on the back for it to charge, and it's a real pain. I would much rather just plug it in. I suspect most people will be fine with the standard model. But if you store a lot of books, and especially audiobooks, you really prefer the automatic backlight, or you're already shelling out money to remove Amazon's ads, it might be worth the extra money. But anyways, more on that in a second. The first thing I want to talk about is the design. The design is largely the same as the previous Paperwhite, a flush-mounted touchscreen, a grippy rubberized back, a gray Kindle logo on the bottom bezel, and the IPX8 waterproofing that was the standout feature of the last generation. The biggest differentiating factor is the display, which has now gotten larger. The two biggest things I liked about the more premium Kindle Oasis was the color temperature settings and the larger display. The Oasis had a 7-inch display, while the Paperwhite always had a 6-inch display. Now the new Kindle Paperwhite has a 6.8-inch display. Now, in order to get a larger display, without making the device much larger, Amazon shrunk the bezels. Now, a lot of questions I received from my unboxing video was if the bezels are still big enough to hold the Kindle and not mess with the screen. And I'm happy to say to you that yes, they are large enough so you will have no issues holding the Kindle and having accidental finger interferences with the display. The bezels have shrunk, but just enough for you to comfortably hold it. Now, another question that I kept getting in the comments was the weight of this device. Thankfully, while the Paperwhite is slightly larger than previous generation models, it's still very lightweight. It weighs in at 7.2 ounces, which is easy to hold during even longer reading sessions. However, one of the things I don't like about the design is the plastic on the Paperwhite. It is very easy to pick up fingerprints, and as a result, it doesn't take long for the device to look dirty. Now, this doesn't really impact the reading part of it, but it is something to note. I'm also not a big fan of the decision of Amazon placing the power button on the bottom of the Kindle, as it is the least ergonomic location. However, alongside the power button is the new USB-C port. A USB-C port is something I know Kindle users, like myself, have been asking for a really long time. You see, these ports are becoming more and more universal, and having to carry multiple charging cords around is a hassle. The latest model brings USB-C, which gives it faster and better compatibility with chargers, cables, and devices you already have. Now, let's talk about the display. Perhaps the most important thing about this entire review is the updated display. Like I said before, this 2021 Kindle Paperwhite offers a 6.8-inch e-ink display. It has a 300 pixel per inch resolution, and a backlight that Amazon says is 10% brighter than the previous generation. Generally, the display looks great. With the backlight off, text appears crisp, and there's enough room on the display to show plenty of text for most users. The screen is about as large as a standard paperback, and I never really felt like I wanted more text on the screen. However, the real lighting upgrade is the ability to adjust the light's temperature from a sort of a bluish white to sepia, depending on your preference. I usually go with the middle setting. This is another feature that's trickled down from the Oasis. The signature edition that I have right here just adds the auto-adjusting component. I personally enjoy the auto-adjusting feature as it detects the environment and timing around me to match the display preference. Now let's talk about battery life. Amazon's battery life claims for the Paperwhite are bold, boasting up to 10 weeks of battery life. And to be very honest, when I had the previous Paperwhite, I had zero complaints with its battery life. Now with the Oasis on the other hand, I did feel that it would drain more energy. I don't know if that was just me, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the battery life on the Oasis. With this new Kindle Paperwhite, after putting 2 hours into my reading, I saw a drop of 4 to 5% in the battery life when using it close to maximum brightness. Amazon also claims that the Kindle Paperwhite can charge from 0 to full battery in 2.5 hours when using a 9-watt adapter. Unfortunately, the adapter isn't included, but I tried using my iPhone adapter and yes, it's true, this Kindle does charge really fast. Long story short, you should not worry about the battery life as this holds extremely well. Now, one of the first things I immediately noticed was the performance. Coming from the previous Paperwhite, this one definitely feels way speedier. Amazon says that it's put a new and more powerful processor on the 2021 model, which allows for books to open faster, pages turn faster, and scrolling through one's library is no longer laggy like it once was on the older model. As with most Kindle upgrades, if you already own the 2018 Paperwhite, this new one is not groundbreaking by any means. But I must say, the larger display is certainly very nice, especially with the warm light abilities. And while USB-C and wireless charging have been at the top of the list for Kindle upgrades for years, neither is worth the investment of an entirely new device. At its core, the reading experience on this new Kindle is absolutely amazing, but it's not something you need to rush out to go upgrade. But if you're buying a new Kindle today for the first time, or you're replacing a very old model, the new Paperwhite is the best hardware that you can currently buy. Possibly the best hardware on any e-reader right now, period. But even as the Kindle's hardware is getting better than ever, it'd be nice to see Amazon software reach a similar level as well. The end result is that this is one of the best e-readers ever. I must say I love this new Kindle Paperwhite, but would love to know your thoughts on it. Will you be getting one? Or did you already buy one? Let me know what you think about it and comment below. Till then, see you next time.